Brother, I need you to understand something. Michael Jackson was operating on a level of fame that sounds fake. Not exaggerated, not inflated, fake. Like if you told somebody today how famous this man was, they'd assume you got your information from a conspiracy theory. Because modern celebrity and Michael Jackson level celebrity are not the same thing. They are different species. It's like comparing a campfire to the sun. Both are hot, one of them can be seen from space. Let's start with the music, because somehow people forget that before Michael Jackson became a cultural phenomena, he was already making hit after hit after hit. We are talking about songs that have become part of human civilization. You don't even need to be a fan, you have already heard them. You have heard Billie Jean, you have heard Beat It, you have heard Thriller, you have heard Smooth Criminal, you have heard Bad, you have heard everything that this man has produced and you didn't even actively try to hear it. It was always playing in your background. That's how famous this guy was. At this point, avoiding Michael Jackson music requires active effort. His songs aren't songs anymore, they are historical landmarks. And the craziest part, these songs just refuse to die. Every year I expect people to move on. Every year Michael Jackson returns from the grave like, not today dude. The man is still charting, still getting billions of streams, still appearing in playlists, still getting discovered by kids born 15 years after his death. I've seen teenagers react to Billie Jean like it came out last week. How? How is this possible? This song is older than some country's infrastructure. But here's where things get absolutely ridiculous. The music was only half of it. The real superpower was the aura. Nobody had aura like Michael Jackson. Nobody, man, nobody. And I don't think anybody will ever have it like that. Because aura today is manufactured. Aura back then felt mythical. Michael Jackson could literally stand still. That's it. That's the entire performance. And people would just lose their minds. Imagine being so famous that standing still becomes an event, dude. The man moonwalked one time on television. One time. And society collectively decided, yep, that's the coolest thing anybody has ever done. Think about that. People today spend years building personal brands, hiring managers, hiring photographers, studying algorithms, learning marketing. People talk about Michael Jackson like he was just a singer. Dude, he was not just a singer. He was not just making songs. He was unlocking cheat codes because the dancing was somehow just as iconic as the music. Think about how insane that is. Most artists spend their entire careers trying to become known for one thing. Either they are a great singer or a great performer or a great songwriter. This dude looked at that and said, why not all of them? The moonwalk alone has carried entire generations of talent show performances. I don't care where you're from, America, India, Brazil, Japan. Somewhere in your school there was a kid trying to moonwalk and failing. Because everybody tries it, nobody does it. The moonwalk isn't a dance move anymore, it is a global side quest. And the funniest part, the moonwalk isn't even his only iconic move. That's how ridiculous this gets. For most artists, the moonwalk would be the achievement of a lifetime. For Michael Jackson, it was basically one item on the resume. You had the spin, the toe stand, the smooth criminal lean, the anti-gravity nonsense that still looks fake today. Brother, the smooth criminal lean genuinely looks like a physics glitch. Every time I see it, my brain reacts the exact same way. How is that even allowed, dude? Somebody clearly forgot to update gravity. And what makes it even crazier is that the dances weren't complicated because they were flashy. They were iconic because they looked impossible. Michael Jackson somehow mastered the art of making everybody immediately recognize a move while simultaneously being unable to do it themselves. Which is also the definition of aura, by the way. Because think about it, you can wear somebody's clothes, you can copy somebody's haircut, you can learn somebody's songs, but you cannot download their aura now, can you, huh? And Michael Jackson had enough of that to power a small country. There are artists today with bigger social media followings. There are artists today with more monthly listeners, with more marketing teams. But Michael Jackson just had a single glove to replace that. And somehow that glove became more recognizable than some celebrities. Half of Michael Jackson's performances looked less like concerts and more like boss battles. The lights would go out, the crowd would start screaming, and then he would appear. Everybody would start losing their minds, dude. He stands still for 10 seconds, he didn't move, and the crowd somehow went harder and screamed louder. Brother, how? He hasn't even done anything yet. I've never seen somebody generate hype by literally standing motionless. At that point, you're not performing, you're just casting spells. Michael Jackson just simply existed, dude, and somehow generated more attention than entire industries. I genuinely think if Michael Jackson appeared in a grocery store today, the internet would crash. Not because people haven't seen celebrities, because Michael Jackson didn't feel like a celebrity. He felt like an urban legend, like somebody made up. You know how people say bro has main character energy? Michael Jackson Jackson had final boss energy, the kind where the soundtrack changes when he enters the room, the kind where security guards start looking nervous, the kind where entire cities suddenly stop functioning. And yes, cities, plural, because that's another thing people don't understand. Modern celebrities just go viral, dude. Michael Jackson caused infrastructure problems. There are videos of crowds that genuinely look unreal, not concert crowds, humanity crowds. The kind of crowds that make you wonder if every person in the country collectively received the same notification. Imagine opening your curtains and looking outside and seeing 80,000 people screaming because a guy stepped out of a van. That's not fame, that's a side quest in a fantasy game. And then we have Thriller. Brother, Thriller. How do you even explain Thriller to younger people? The music video wasn't a music video. It was a cultural event. The song became Halloween. Michael Jackson didn't participate in Halloween. He practically owns part of it now. Every October society collectively remembers Thriller exists, like it's a seasonal update, dude. And then there's Smooth Criminal. The lean alone has generated more conspiracy theories than some governments, dude. People still look at that move and react the same way. What? How? How is this possible? Is gravity optional now? And the thing about Michael Jackson is that somehow he managed to become famous in every demographic simultaneously. Kids knew him, teenagers knew him, adults knew him, grandparents knew him, people in America knew him. If you come in India and ask a random person in a random village about who Michael Jackson is, he will be able to tell you who he was. That's how popular this guy was. People who didn't listen to pop music knew him. At a certain point, you stop being an artist, you become public property. What's funny is that younger people think social media creates bigger stars. And in some way it does, but social media also divides attention. Back then everybody watched same things. Everybody heard the same songs, everybody knew the same names, which meant when Michael Jackson was famous, everybody knew. Not your niche, not your audience, everybody. Today you can be the biggest creator on earth and somebody will still say, who's that? With Michael Jackson, good luck finding that person. You'd have a better chance finding a unicorn. And now there's the new Michael Jackson movie coming out, which already came out, by the way. I took some time making this video, which is honestly one of the safest bets Hollywood has ever made, because Michael Jackson remains one of the few people whose life still feels larger than fiction. You could make 3 separate movies, one about music, one about fame, one about cultural impact, and you'd still be leaving things out. Because that's what separates Michael Jackson from normal celebrities. Most celebrities have fans. Michael Jackson had believers. People weren't just consuming content, they were witnessing history. At least that's how it felt. And before somebody comments, what about Taylor Swift? What about Ronaldo, Messi, Beatles? Relax, dude, they are all legends. This isn't disrespect. I don't agree about the Taylor Swift part, but okay, just for the sake of it, we'll agree. But Michael Jackson was operating during a period where global fame functioned differently. The man became known in places that barely shared the same language. That's absurd. And the scary part, I don't think it's possible anymore. I genuinely don't. The internet fragmented everything, you know. Everybody lives in different bubbles now. Different feeds, different communities, different algorithms. Attention is scattered now. Nobody owns the entire world anymore. Back then, Michael Jackson practically rented it. So will there be artists with bigger streaming numbers? Probably. Will there be artists with more followers? Definitely. Will there be artists with better algorithms? Absolutely. But aura, no, I don't think so. That ain't happening, because aura isn't statistics. Aura is when your presence feels impossible. Aura is when people scream before you have even started doing anything. Aura is when standing still becomes ironic. Aura is when 30 years later people are still trying to recreate your cool factor and failing. Michael Jackson wasn't just famous, he was the final form of famous, that the max level, the completed side quest. And that's why every generation keeps discovering him, dude, because no matter how much the world changes, Thriller will always be popular, all of his songs will be always popular, the moonwalk will always be popular, which honestly might be the most impressive part of the all. So in conclusion, I'd like to say, subscribe, dude, if you're a Michael Jackson fan.